All right, so let's try to solve this limit. Right off the bat, I can see that we can factor out both of them. So we're going to factor out the top to x minus 2x minus 2. That is negative 2 times negative 2 will give me the plus 4 and sum up to negative 4. And the bottom will be a little bit more difficult. So let's go ahead and do the bottom factoring over on the right side, the right hand side here. So the way that I would do this problem is I would multiply the coefficient and the constants here. So that would give me negative 4. Then I try to ask myself, well, what two factors can sum up to the negative 3? Well, that's just going to be negative 4 and 1. Negative 4 plus 1 is going to give me negative 3. So these will be my factors of, or my terms of negative 4x squared and x squared. So that's exactly what I'm going to write down at the bottom. I'm going to have x to the fourth, or actually let's go ahead and factor out over here on the right hand side, and then we'll write down the entire factor form at the end in the denominator. So we're going to have x4, or x to the power 4 minus 4x squared plus x squared. We're just writing down the factors here, and then minus 4. So we can see that on the left two terms over here, we can factor out a single x squared to be left with x squared. Let me write this down a little bit more to the left here. We can factor out an x squared, and we're going to have x squared minus 4, and then plus x squared minus 4. So now that I have the two factors that are the same, I can write them down as 1, and then I'll just write x squared plus 1, and then x squared minus 4, I should say. And that is exactly what we're going to put down in the middle. But actually, right before that, we know that this here can also be rewritten as x squared plus 1 and x plus 2, x minus 2. So it's exactly what we're going to write down in the denominator here in blue. So we're going to have x squared plus 1, x plus 2, x minus 2. Now we can see that one of the x minus 2's can be canceled out, but we're just going to be left with one of the factored or factors of x minus 2 in the numerator. So we're going to have x minus 2 in the numerator, and then we're going to have x squared plus 1 and then x plus 2 as x approaches 2 here. And we can see that we're still going to be left with 0 in the numerator, but as long as we don't get the 0 in the denominator, we are still good. And let's substitute the 2. So we know that it's going to be 0 on top. And in the bottom, after you've substituted all the values, you're going to get 20. And so then 0 divided by 20 is just 0. So that is the answer to this question.